All right, well, hello and welcome. We are going to learn how to create a game here on our computer, and we're going to use a different software called Scratch today. So if you're listening to this vodcast here, it's because you've reached the end of our computer science unit, and you are now working on the final project. And this is going to be kind of a really fun project to learn about. So with all of our coding in our computer science that we have done, we've learned all about loops and variables and conditions. We're going to kind of put all of those things that we've learned now kind of into play, and we're going to create this game here. And I have the final product that I'll show you. So this is so you can kind of understand and see what we're working towards. And then we'll kind of just dive in and start creating the parts to it. So this is the game that you're going to be playing. It's a soccer game. So when you click the green flag, we have a little soccer goalie, which happens to be a dinosaur. And then we've got a little cat here. And our goal is to get this cat to kick this ball into the goal. And so we do that by using the arrow keys on our keyboard. And we go up and down, and we go left and right. And we can't get touched by the dinosaur, or, yep, he tells us that we lose and we get no ball to shoot. So our goal is to try to do this down at the bottom, get past. And you can hear from the loud noise, we won there. So yeah, we can kick the ball in the goal and then we win. So that's going to be what we're going to create here. So I'm on the Scratch website that you have a link to from our unit page. And I also have on that, right next to that link, your credentials to log in. So we're all going to use the same login. That way I can see all of our projects kind of on that same page. And then that will make it so that you don't have to create an account on your own. So after you're logged in and ready to go, we're going to go ahead and hit create, and we're going to go ahead and start ourselves a new computer program. And it's going to start us out here, and we're going to have our cat. We just kept our cat as our default in our game. We're going to do a couple of things with this cat. And then we're going to add the rest of the stuff with it. You can see we have a lot of stuff that we need to add to this. So first things first, I want to be able to control this cat. And so here's what I'm going to do. Now I want to say, before I completely get started, feel free at any point in time during this vodcast to please pause the video if you want to go ahead and break this down step by step, or if you want to rewatch any different things, you most definitely can. So feel free, you're kind of at your own mercy here, so just pause whenever you need to, rewatch what you need to get this completely finished. So with that being said, we're going to start right away with getting our cat to move when we use the arrow keys. So what I'm going to do is this. So we have all of these nice little sticky blocks that are right along here. We're in the motion ones right now. We have events, we have control, looks we'll use a little bit, sound will be at the very, very end, sensing we'll use a little bit too. So we're going to use a lot of these different commands that we have here. The first one we're going to do, though, is we're going to use the events. And what we're going to do is we're going to get this guy to move, like I said, when we move or we hit our little keys. So I'm going to do this one, when, and it says space key is pressed. And I'm going to drag it, I'm going to drop it right in here. So what it says is when the space key is pressed, something's going to happen. Well, I don't want the space key to be the one that we do. So if you click that little drop down, you have all the characters, all the things that are on the keyboard. And we, of course, we want the up arrow. So if the up arrow is pressed, oh, actually, I'm going to stop that. I'm going to do the right arrow first. We're going to go right arrow because I'm going to go forward first. So when the right arrow key is pressed, I'm going to go back to motion, and I'm going to say move 10 steps. Just like that. And I could change this 10 steps. So now that I put these two things in here, my cat will actually move. He won't move with any of the other arrows because I don't have those in, but anytime I hit a right arrow, he's going to move, and he's just going to keep going off the page if I just keep hitting that right button. So I'm going to move him back here by clicking and dragging him. And I'm actually going to change this number in here to say 20 because I want him to move a little bit faster. He's a little bigger jumps is what I want, bigger jumps. Okay. So there's my first command, easy, easy, easy. So now we're going to duplicate this. We're going to copy this. If you kind of look up here, there's a little stamper, that's the duplicate. If I click that and I click on this, it's going to double this and so I don't have to go finding stuff again. So now I have two commands that are the exact same. Well, I don't want them to be. I want this one to go left. So if I want him to go backwards, I'm going to say when the left arrow key is pressed. But look what happens when I hit the left arrow key. It does the same thing as the right arrow key. They both do the same thing because I'm saying for it to move 20 steps. I want this to actually say move, oops, there we go, minus 20 steps. Because this whole this is what's called a stage, this whole background here. It's kind of like a big XY coordinate, and you can see down here there's an X and a Y. What I'm doing when I move him 20 steps is I'm changing that X value by 20. If I go backwards, I want it to go minus 20 on that X line. So think of this as a big number line. This is jumping forward 20 numbers each time. This would go backwards 20 numbers each time. So that's why I have the minus there. So now I have two keys that I can make this guy go forward and backwards. So pretty good stuff so far. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to duplicate this one because this next one, the up and down, are a little bit different. So I'm going to go back to the events. I'm going to grab this when space key is pressed. And this time I'm going to make him go up. Okay, I can't use the move 20 steps now because this is X value changes and I want Y value changes because Y goes up and down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this one. Look at this. Change Y, and it says change Y by 10. And again, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change this to say 20. Okay, so change Y by 20. So if I hit the up arrow, look at that. He's going to go up. Then to go down, I'm going to do exactly what I did with my left here. I'm going to duplicate. I'll drag this down so I can see it a little bit better. I'm going to spread these just a little bit out here because you're going to find something cool here in a second. And then I'm going to say when the down arrow key is pressed and change this to minus 20. Okay, so now this is probably a good spot for you to stop. Go do these little quick 4 little programs here. I've actually written 4 different programs, a program for each of the arrows. So now I've got a cat that will go up and down and left and right. And I can completely control him, which is really cool. Now let's get fancy here. Let's get really fancy. What I want to do with this guy is I want to make this have a separate costume. And because if you watched when I played my game, it looked like our cat was running. And it doesn't look like he's running right now. He's just sliding. So what I did was I went over here to the costumes and look at this. We have a costume 1, which is this, and a costume 2, which is this. So you can see as I click back and forth between the two, it makes him look like he's kind of running. So we have a costume 1 and a costume 2. So back to my scripts. Now this is what's really cool. I go to the looks and I have this little thing here that says next costume. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this next costume right in between here. So every one of my programs is going to say, anytime the right arrow gets clicked, change to the next costume, because I have 2, and then move 20 steps. And it's going to do it instantaneously. So you can kind of see it just did that. So each time I do that, it's going to look like he's running now. So I can do that with the rest by adding that next costume and just kind of sticking it in between each of these. So now each one of these, each one of my 4 programs here, has a next costume, which is kind of cool stuff. All right, so I think that's pretty good so far. So now we have a cat we can control. We can control this cat. This is our player of our game here so far, and this is cool. So now we're ready to move on to the next stuff. When I start this game, my cat is going to be wherever I left him at. So let's say he kicks in the goal and he's right there. If I start the next game, my cat is going to stay right there. I need a reset button. So when I stop the game, I'm going to reset it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a quick program in here for our cat, and we're going to go to the events and say when the green flag is clicked, because the green flag is really the start. So when the green flag is clicked, we're going to have this cat go to a certain starting position, and I want that starting position to be roughly right. Let's see if I can move this. Let's make a nice even number here, right there. That's where our starting position is going to be at. Okay, so I'm going to go to the motion here. So whenever the green flag is clicked, I want this guy to go to these coordinates, which is where he is at right now. So if I were to move him, do you notice how the coordinates change? So I put him wherever I want him at, and then those are the coordinates that I grab and I drop right in there. So anytime the green flag is clicked, so watch, if I have him here, if I click the green flag, boom, he goes back to his reset position, which is right there at the start. So that's pretty cool stuff right there. He is ready to go. So, and I'm ready to add a new character into our design here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to where it says the sprites. These little characters here are called sprites. And I'm going to pick one from the library that they already have. And I'm going to look in the animals category. Okay. And you can pick any of these that you want to. If you want a beetle to be your goalie, you can have a beetle or a bear or a bat or a bear, whatever you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and stick to my dinosaur that I picked from last time. And I'm going to stick him right there. Now what I want to do is I want him facing, I think he's going to be just fine facing. Now I'm going to flip him. I'm going to flip him so he's facing this way. Okay. I'm going to go back to my scripts now and put him kind of in this area right here. And what I'm going to do is this. When the green flag gets clicked, I want this guy to be pointing in a direction, because I don't want him going side to side. I want him going up and down. So I'm going to say point in direction. And if you click on that, you can see you can change it to up. So I'm going to have him point to the direction, which is up. All right. And so watch this. When I click the green flag, he's going to be pointing up, which looks down, but it's okay because he's going to be going up and down just like this. So he's going to be facing that direction. Next, I'm going to put a loop in because I want this guy to move all the time. So we're going to do what's called a loop, which we learned about that. And this loop is going to be a forever loop. So in the control section, that's where you'll find some loops. I'm going to grab this forever loop and stick it right on there, and I got some stuff I can put inside. So it's not going to forever point to this direction. It's just going to do it one time. When I click the green flag, it points to that direction, sets my character, and then what I'm going to have him do, pointing forward, is I'm going to have him move some steps. So see where it says 10 steps right here? I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to change this to 5. Now, this is how you can change the difficulty of this game. The more steps he moves, the faster he goes. So if I have 20 steps in there, this dinosaur is going to be moving very, very quickly, and it's going to be very hard to pass this game. So I'm going to slow it down to 5 steps because I really don't want to make this a difficult game. I want to make this an easy game. And what I'm going to do is this. Anytime he gets to the edge, he's going to bounce. And so I have a little button down here in the motion that says if on edge, bounce. Because if I don't put that, he's just going to go zoop, clear down the bottom of the screen and be out and be gone. So I say move 5 steps, if on edge, bounce. And now watch what happens when I have my green flag. He's going to go back and forth. Although, oh, look at that. He looks like he's going backwards. Let's stop that. I should have left my guy. So I'm going to flip him back the way he was when I started. Go back to scripts. So if you did that, you're going to mess it up with me too. There we go. Now he's going forward. So here he is. He's going up and down, and he's blocking that goal. Okay? And he's just going to keep doing this. He's going to do it forever until I hit the red stop sign, because that is a loop. So he's constantly always moving 5 steps, and if he hits the edge, he bounces back to back way, and so he will continue to go. So stop him. There we go. Perfect. So we've got our dinosaur, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave him right there, which is kind of cool. And we're going to move on to the next step, which is our soccer ball. So our soccer ball is going to be a new sprite. We're going to go new sprite. And I believe the soccer ball is in sports probably. There it is. Yep, I'll grab that soccer ball, I'll put OK, and there we have a soccer ball. And this soccer ball is way too big. So we're going to shrink it down. There we go, much, much better. See how that shrink? We shrink it down. That is about the right size of a soccer ball. And I'll put the soccer ball right there. So I probably need to change the background right now, because we kind of have to have the soccer ball set up in front of the goal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this stage right there, and I'm going to go to backdrops, and I'm going to go choose a backdrop from our library. And if I scroll down a little bit there, I should see a couple of different soccer fields. Oops, I may have passed it. Let's just click on sports. There we go. I have a goal 1, I have a goal 2. So I have a huge stadium, and I have like the backyard sandlot volleyball or a soccer ball that you might have too. So I'm going to pick the stadium this time. I'll say, okay, we're going to have this in a big stadium. There we go. So there's my backdrop. So I want to put my soccer ball kind of right here in front of the goal. That's where I want it to be. All right. So back on my soccer ball, I'm going to go back to my scripts, and here's what I want it to do. When the flag gets clicked, I want this soccer ball to reset, just like I had this guy reset. I want this soccer ball to reset, and I want it to go to that coordinate right there. So boom, it goes to that coordinate right there like that. And then I'm also going to do this. Let's see here. I want to go, I think I'm ready to go back to my cat now. Yeah, I'm ready to go back to my cat. So we're going to do some cool stuff with the cat now. Yeah, we're going to do some if-then, some variables now. So we're going to go back to our cat. We're going to work on some tough stuff here. So see this program that we had here, when the flag is clicked, move back to this spot? Well, we're going to change this to, or not change it, but we're going to add to it. We're going to add some loops to it. We're going to add a forever loop right there. And we're also going to put another loop inside of that. We're going to do an if-then, which is a variable right here. So we're going to say if, sensing, if you're touching dinosaur 2, then what we're going to do is we're going to switch it to a backdrop. So we're going to go to my backdrop. And I'm going to say, oh, I've got backdrop 1, I've got backdrop 2. So let's go backdrop 2, and we're going to fill in the color of red. That's backdrop 2. Okay. So that's what we're going to say. We're going to say backdrop, and we have backdrop 1 and backdrop 2. I'm going to move these. There we go. That's what I want it to do. So we have goal 1, backdrop 2. Okay. So back to my cat I go. There we go. And to my scripts. If touching dinosaur 2, we're going to say switch to backdrop 1. And then we're going to have it do this. We're going to have it actually, oops, events. We're going to broadcast a message. Now this is what this broadcast, we're going to broadcast a message. We're going to say new message, and the message is going to be loser. Just like that. Boom, loser. All right, it's going to broadcast that message. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a stop on this. A stop to everything. The whole game stops. Dinosaur stops. Everything stops. Boom, done. Okay. And now we're going to do another one. When the flag is clicked. And we're going to do another forever loop. And we're going to do another if-then. And this one we're going to say this time, if touching the soccer ball. Oops, I need to go to sensing. If, there we go. If touching the soccer ball, we're going to broadcast a new message. We're going to broadcast winner. Okay. And we're not going to stop all. All right. Now, here's what we're going to do. Go back to our dinosaur. When our dinosaur says, when I receive the loser message, we're going to have it say, you lose. Some exclamation points. And we're going to have him say that for about 5 seconds. Okay. And that's all we need to do with him. And then we go to the soccer ball. And let's see here. When the soccer ball receives a message, when the soccer ball receives the winner message, it's going to move, let's say 55 steps. That's just a complete guess. So let's try this. So if I move my cat, boom. Is that kicking the goal? That's in the goal. Is that in the goal? That's in the goal. So 55 steps, pretty good. And we're going to have it say, oops, there we are. Say, you win for 5 seconds. Just like that. Now we're going to do another event, because when this is what happens. When the backdrop switches to backdrop 1, we want our soccer ball to hide. And that's because if we touch the dinosaur, everything's going to go away. We want our soccer ball to go away too. It'll just stay here floating in the middle of nowhere, look kind of weird, so we want it to go away. But since we could hide this, we also have to put the show in here. So anytime the green flag is clicked, it gets shown. So boom, there it's showing. So for instance, we'll see if this works. It wins. Oh, but look at that, it loses because it still touched us. So we have something we need to fix. So let's stop. And let's go back to here. Oh, on our stage, we need to say when the green flag gets clicked, oops, switch to goal 2. So anytime we click this flag, it changes back to this right there. And then our dinosaur, we need to have another thing for our dinosaur. When the dinosaur receives the winner message, we're going to have it, oops, control, there we go, stop all. So this time, boom, we won. And why didn't our soccer ball say we won? Oh, that's right, because we said to stop all on our dinosaur. Our dinosaur just stopped all. Stop this script, that's what we're going to say. So let's do this again. Move them down and over. Boom. We win. Lose. All right. So you get the idea here. We have to do something to get that dinosaur to stop. Let me find that dinosaur. Aha, I think I know what we're doing here. So in the dinosaur, we're going to say, that's not what I want to do. I want it to say, I want it to stop. When it receives the winner message, don't want it to stop all, we want it to stop the other scripts in this sprite. There we go, that's what I wanted. So let's try this again. Across we go, and we win, and our dinosaur stops. Perfect. So that is exactly what we want it to look like. So we have these 3 programs on our sprites. So this is what this one looks like. Our dinosaur looks like this, and our soccer ball looks like this. Remember, you can pause this at any point in time, kind of look and see what I have, make sure it matches up with what you have, and when you're finished, you should have a good game of soccer to play with a cat and a goalie, or whatever sprites you happen to choose. So good luck with your work, and if you have any questions, make sure you ask me in class.